Each pet is a different individual, and some might be more independent than others. They all have their own unique way of communicating with us, so we should always try to find ways to interact with them to ensure they're having fun. Another unique thing about animals is how they find a way to request assistance or let you know something is bothering them. This woman was definitely taken by surprise when she and her husky went out for their daily walk in the forest and her dog did something out of the ordinary to get her attention. Braylee was so excited that she could finally have her own canine sidekick. She took her time and did her research before choosing the perfect breed to get. As beautiful and witty as another member of the canine family, the wolf, Braylee picked a husky. Braylee needed a dog who was intelligent and energetic. She wanted a dog that could keep up with all the essential tricks. She wanted to train him or her on her own. This new husky wasn't just a fun buddy, it would soon have a significant role in her life. She named her new little sidekick Banner and had a strong future planned for her. From the moment she brought Banner home, they bonded instantly. With such an immediate and intense connection, she knew Banner recognized her as her trusted alpha. Whitney had no doubts. She had chosen the perfect pet. She needed a clever dog like Banner for a special reason. Whitney Braylee had always loved animals. Due to a health issue, she adopted Banner to help her with her disability. From the second they met, they clearly had a special, unique connection. She quickly learned and enjoyed all the new tricks. Whitney and expert trainers trained her. Banner was able to recognize anxiety attacks, episodes of PTSD, migraines, and other medical issues. This was super impactful and helped Whitney safely manage her issues. With time, Banner could sense if something was wrong and was usually right. This truly was life-changing for Whitney. Banner had learned to detect signs of oncoming episodes to help Whitney manage her health. Along with this, Banner had a natural sense to go above and beyond. Although she was focused on her owner, she adapted skills to recognize symptoms other people were experiencing too. She was even able to help with retrieving medication and self-harm interruption. This canine was a remarkable creature. Banner had become an essential part of Whitney's life, and she was so happy that she could trust Banner and have her by her side. Banner wasn't biased toward humans. She loved other animals too, like her new puppy. Whitney was open to all animals and had fostered multiple rescue animals even before Banner was in the picture. Whitney was initially worried that Banner would not get along with other animals, but she quickly found out that she was always excited to help her. She was never jealous or interfered when Whitney was tending to the other animals. Whitney was relieved since she truly loved taking in rescue animals and helping them. Even before Whitney had adopted her beloved dog, her love for animals was a big part of her life, and she had the habit of saving rescue animals and other pets in need. She was even able to help with retrieving medication and self-harm interruption. This canine was a remarkable creature. Banner had become an essential part of Whitney's life, and she was so happy that she could trust Banner and have her by her side. Banner wasn't biased toward humans. She loved other animals too, like her new puppy. Whitney was open to all animals and had fostered multiple rescue animals even before Banner was in the picture. Whitney was initially worried that Banner would not get along with other animals, but she quickly found out that she was always excited to help her. She was never jealous or interfered when Whitney was tending to the other animals. Whitney was relieved since she truly loved taking in rescue animals and helping them. Even before Whitney had adopted her beloved dog, her love for animals was a big part of her life, and she had the habit of saving rescue animals and other pets in need. Banner gladly joined Braylee's mission and was very tender with the animals they have been taking care of. During Banner's first year with Whitney, she decided to foster her first baby kitten ever. She knew it would be challenging work, but the poor, sweet kitten was found in a ditch. How could she say no? Without a mama cat to protect the kitten or feed her, it would have no chance. No worries though, Banner stepped in the role as the kitten's new mother. Just as impressive as it is adorable, right? It only gets better. Banner adapted a maternal role with many of the animal rescues. Whitney realized how influential it was to have another creature around to protect and calm these distressed animals in their time of need. Banner always kept a gentle manner with the other animals, but they were just as beneficial for her. They also helped instill a good base of behavior and education for Banner. Each animal that entered Whitney's home would mutually benefit the other. The rescue team never lost focus on each other though. Banner made sure always to take care of Whitney and vice versa. Also, if you've not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to get inspired by these animal stories every day. Now back to the story. As a purebred husky, Banner had a lot of energy and needed a lot of exercises. Whitney would happily take Banner out for long walks in the nearby forest to get out her energy there. Banner was able to explore and enjoy the outdoors. Whitney never compromised Banner's exercise time. Even if she was having an off day, she would still gladly take her on their daily walk. If Banner wasn't at her best, then that might also compromise her ability to detect Whitney's health symptoms. Another great bonus to their forest walks was that Banner was allowed to roam freely without a leash. She knew she could trust Banner to return to her when it was time to return home. Their bond was so strong that Whitney didn't feel the need to worry about keeping her on a leash and leash or no leash. Banner knew that her main purpose was to make sure her master was in good health and would run back if she was needed. Whitney had a typical path near the forest that she would walk down daily. Once they got to the forest, she would happily unleash Banner to play freely in and out of the forest. Banner was never typically fazed by anything in the forest and would always return in good spirits. On this specific day though, upon Banner's return, she didn't seem like herself. So what was going on with Banner? Why was she acting like a different dog? Banner was always obedient and respected Whitney as an owner. It wasn't clear to Whitney when Banner wasn't obeying her commands. Clearly, Banner was distraught and a bit confused herself. Whitney couldn't understand what had gotten into her though. She tried to use a stern voice to command her to behave and continue home. But Banner seemed set in stone about staying. To Whitney, Banner was being, dare we say it, a bad dog, which was entirely out of the ordinary for her. But what was Whitney to do? Sometimes animals can have similar behaviors to children. If they are having fun and don't want to leave, sometimes they will just drop to the ground and not budge, but Banner wasn't being fussy over fun time. Whitney could tell that something was actually bothering her. In fact, Banner didn't just plop down and not move. She started tugging on Whitney's dress at some point too. Whitney then wondered, perhaps Banner was trying to warn her of an upcoming symptom. Whitney started to get concerned that Banner's behavior was reflective of her current health status. Popping down was one thing, but pulling at her dress, that was definitely more insistent than usual. Whitney checked all of her vitals, but everything was normal. Eventually, Banner started pulling Whitney towards the direction she had just come from. She understood that she wanted to go back into the woods. Whitney realized something serious was going on inside the forest. Whitney decided to take the detour and see what all the commotion was about. The deeper into the woods they voyaged, the calmer Banner seemed to be. Looking around the forest, she finally noticed something in the distance. The color of this object was camouflaged by the environment, but it was definitely not a part of nature. Upon closer examination, she could tell that the object looked like a box. As Banner ran directly towards it, Whitney didn't know what to think. She eventually caught up to Banner, who was now pawing at the box. Was Banner just trying to play? Was she just intrigued to find a household object in the middle of nowhere? Was there something in the box? She slowly opened the box and could not believe what Banner had found. At first glance, Whitney had seen clumps of black and white fur, assuming she had just opened the box to a skunk. But looking closer, she realized it was a different animal entirely. In fact, it was more than one, a box full of trapped newborn kittens. The duo was definitely a rescue team for fostering animals before, but this act of compassion promoted Banner to the next rank. The kittens did not react to Whitney opening the box. Tragically, even though it didn't rain that day, it was clear the kittens were frozen. Whitney's heart was broken. In fact, she was more than just heartbroken. As an animal rescuer herself, she was furious and appalled that someone would just leave a box of kittens in the middle of nowhere. Was it that much harder to take them to a shelter? Was she their only hope for survival? It seemed that the kittens were probably only a day old with no mother inside. While Whitney was trying to process this tragedy, Banner put on her rescue hat and jumped right in. She pulled one kitten out with her mouth gently and cuddled it. Banner had plenty of experience with all of the rescue animals the duo had taken care of together. Clearly, Banner was determined to do the same for the box of these little babies. No words could describe the situation. She was in awe that not only Banner somehow found the box of critical state kittens in the middle of nowhere, but that she was determined to come to their rescue. She indeed was such a compassionate creature. Without any hesitation, Whitney rushed back home with Banner to save these little kittens. The rescue team arrived to their home with a box full of kittens. Whitney rushed to get heating blankets and whatever else she could to warm up the newborns and bring them back to a stable state. Banner stayed idly by watching over them, and of course Whitney too. To think, Whitney initially confused her trustworthy dog for misbehaving. Who would have thought that since her first year with Whitney, Banner had been training for this very day all along. Banner has rescued a total of 7 kittens in one day. These kitties' luck didn't end there. Banner took on a significant role too. This precious pup claimed the kittens as part of the family and would clean, cuddle, and nap with them. She provided them with a safe and happy environment to grow in. Now that they had established a safe environment for the kittens, Whitney could tend to them as needed and make sure they grew up with no medical issue. Banner consistently provided them emotional support and showered them with love. Whitney, being the perfect fosterer for this challenge, had planned on raising the kittens for the next few months. The kittens were growing up to be strong and healthy. Whitney took this opportunity to share their story on social media. She was so proud of her selfless dog and wanted to raise awareness about abandoning animals. If a husky can sense that something is wrong with a suspicious box of kittens in the forest, then hopefully other people will wake up and understand it's wrong too. There are so many other options to handle a situation like this, and Whitney was determined to share her voice and educate. A few months after their rescue, the kittens were up to date on all their shots and deemed as healthy. It truly is impressive that both Whitney and Banner had not only saved this litter together, but helped them recover a traumatic welcome into the world. As attached as Banner was to the kittens, Whitney made sure that the kittens were going to people that would make them just as happy. Aside from touring around to spread awareness, Whitney and Banner continued to rescue and foster animals. After their big debut on social media, they were quickly known as the best team of fosterers around. They'd say that everything happens for a reason. Both Whitney and Banner are compassionate and loving in their own ways. Banner helps Whitney maintain her health, and Whitney helps train Banner to be who she was truly meant to be, a hero. Surprisingly, after this whole saga, Whitney realized that Banner connects more with kittens over any other. She loved helping Whitney take care of all animals, but kittens would always be her favorite little creature. With all of this said, as cute as animals can be, it's always best to call a professional. There are many factors to consider when rescuing an animal. Wild animals can be unpredictable, especially since they are unfamiliar with humans and our environment. However, even when it comes to a domesticated animal like a cat or dog, remember that they can be more scared of you than you are of them and act out aggressively because of this. Whitney and Banner had been rescuing and fostering animals for a long time, and they were fortunate that the situation wasn't dangerous. We strongly encourage reporting anything suspicious or dangerous to authorities and professionals to handle. The rescue team continues to stay in action and plan to help and take care of animals with endless compassion and cuddles. The pride and praise that Whitney has for her beloved Banner are beyond comprehension. Banner is a true wonder dog and has rescued countless animals with her clever mind, emotional intelligence, and kind heart. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with your friends and family. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.